Hello everyone. Now we'll start with the fourth chapter, function of DP, that is account opening. Now many times people feel that opening DMAT account is much more difficult compared to the banking account. So we are going to compare your banking account as well as your DMAT account. So it becomes very easy for you to understand how the DMAT accounts get open in the depository system as well as the end of DP. Okay. Then many times people have a question whether a single person can open a multiple account or not, right? So the answer to this is yes, you can have a multiple account either with the same DP or with the different DP, but when you are opening that, you have to sign a different agreement for the purpose. If you have one account, for opening another account you have to sign a different agreement. That is what the requirement is. Now there are different types of account as compared to DMAT account. When we talk about, there are different types of account. Okay, one account is called as a clearing member account. Now normally this account is very well known as a CM pool account. The CM pool account is been opened by the clearing member of the recognized stock exchange to deal into a security that is for the settlement of trade which takes place in an exchange platform. Then second account, what we call about an intermediary account. Now intermediary account is been opened by the SEBI registered intermediaries for the purpose of stock lending and borrowing. So this has been opened by the registered member of the SEBI. Then again, when we talk about these two accounts, that is clearing member account or an intermediary account, okay, these are called as a transitory account. Why we call them as a transitory account? Because this account is open for the commercial purpose. Okay, that's why we call them as a transitory accounts. Now we always talk about BOID, that is beneficial owner. Everyone in a depository system, every account holder in a depository system has called as a beneficial owner. Now in beneficial owner also we have a different category of the accounts. Now what are the different category of account? That is an individual account which is open in the name of individual entity, individual person. Then we call it as a corporate account. Now corporate account are generally opened by the corporate entities. Then we have HUF account, that is Hindu undivided family account. We have minor account. Okay, minor can also open a DMAT account to hold the security in a DMAT form. Then any bank wants to open an account, they can also open a DMAT account. Now there are financial institutions who can also open a DMAT account in their name. Then we have a concept called a registered trust can also open a DMAT account and get a benefited out of it. We have registered trust, we have unregistered trust. The process to open will be discussing in a detail. Then we have a broker. Now this normally broker open one account which is called as a clearing member account for the purpose of settlement of trade which takes place in the exchange platform, and the second account they open for their own self where they trade on their own. That is what proprietary business what they do on their own name. Then while opening a DMAT account, the important thing is KYC. Okay, now what do we mean by KYC is know your customer. Okay, before opening an account, if an individual comes to you, okay, and he wants to open a DMAT account, what you will be doing? You will be giving him a DMAT account opening form. Along with that form, the client has to give a specific document. There are various documents which a client is supposed to give it to the DP for opening the DMAT account. The important document over here is a PAN card. Without PAN card, a client cannot open a DMAT account. Okay, so that is the important document. A client has to produce a proof of identity as well as a proof of address for opening a DMAT account. So in proof of identity, the PAN card is a must. Without PAN card, a client cannot open a DMAT account. And the second thing is he has to give a permanent or a correspondence address proof, or both, depending upon the type of account he is opening for. Now when we say KYC, it is called as know your client. Okay, in that a DP should verify whatever details has been filled by the client and whatever document has been produced by the client are matching to it or not. Once the client comes with a form along with all the document, what a DP does a KYC norms. They have to follow the KYC norms. Now what does the norm say? A proof of identity which has been mentioned in the account opening form and the proof which has been provided by client should match. The second thing, the proof of address what the client has given and the proof of address what is mentioned in the form, that is also should be tallied. Okay. If suppose a client is coming to a DP with an account opening form along with all the document, what a DP person is supposed to do? He has to verify the document authenticity. Now how a DP will verify the authenticity of the document? once he get the form along with the document, he asks client to give the original document as well. Based on the original document given by the client, the DP verifies the authenticity of the document. After that, a DP puts a stamp called as a verified with original or verified against original, which is much more required as far as the KYC norms are concerned. In Demat account, there is a limit for the joint holders. Okay, you cannot have more than 3 joint holders in case of Demat account, but in your banking account you can have joint holders. More than 3 joint holders you can have in your banking account. Okay. Again, one more important thing over here, and when we talking about this PAN card is mandatory for each type of account, each category of account. Okay, except there are some exceptions to this. Say if it's a Sikkim residence, then the PAN is not mandatory, and if it's a multilateral agencies, then the PAN is not mandatory for them. After Demat came in, whether it has been benefited to the investor, okay, or how it got benefited to the investor from an investor point of view. A client has a choice to select a DP as per his requirement. Okay, whenever a client select a DP, he'll see whether it is comfortable or not, whether it is nearer to his place or not, and whether he is already availing a services with some of the entity who is already giving the services called Demat. Then there is no minimum required balance. When we talk about your saving accounts and your Demat account, in your saving account at least you have to mention 5,000 as a balance, 10,000 as a balance, but in case of your Demat account, you don't have to mention any balance. Okay, so you can start your Demat account with 0 balance, and it's not mandatory. Once you open the account, there should be a balance as well. The second, once you open an account, you always, as an investor, you always have an option to close down the account at any point of time. So that is an option available to the investor at any point of time. You can close down with one DP and you can open it with the other DP. That is an option an investor always has. The most important thing again, before, see, when you are opening your saving accounts and when you are opening your Demat account, the biggest difference, in your saving account you are signing a terms and conditions with the bank, but in case of your Demat account you have to sign an agreement with the depository participant. Okay, so that is an additional requirement over here. Otherwise everything, there are some of the differences as compared to the saving account and a Demat account, but this agreement has to be mandatorily signed. Without signing an agreement, you as a depository participant, he cannot open a Demat account. So it's a mandate for an investor to sign an agreement with the DP, and this agreement has been it's a standard agreement which has been approved by SEBI. Now again, the value of stamp paper varies from the place of registration. Now if you talk about Maharashtra, the stamp duty which you have to pay for the agreement is 100 rupees. But if you talk about Hyderabad, the stamp duty what you are paying is 20 rupees. So it depends on the place where it's get registered. Okay. Then agreement should sign before opening the account. If you are opening an account without a signed agreement, then there might be a penalty to you. That the penalty might be around 5,000 also. Okay, so that is what care as a depository participant you have to take while opening a Demat account. Agreement should be signed. Wherever the signatures are required, a signature should be taken on the form at wherever it's required. Now procedure to open a Demat account, there is an application form which an investor is supposed to give it to the DP. Along with the application form, the investor has to give a proof of identity, that is PAN card is must, and the address proofs. Now again, there are separate form for individual and non-individual type of category. Now when we talk about an individual, it's an individual entity who is opening an account. When we talk about non-individual, it's a corporate or it's a firm who wants to open a Demat account. So there are two different set of form which has to be given as per the document mentioned on the form. In case of HUF, a depository participant should give a client an individual form, okay, which is mandatory. And when we talk about HUF, there is, as you all are aware, there are two different depositories. One is NSDL and another one is CDSL. In CDSL, we have a concept called you can open an account in the name of HUF entity or in the name of Karta. Both option has been given to the DPs or to the investor. But in case of NSDL, if a client wants to open an account in NSDL, the account is getting opened only in the name of Karta and not in the name of entities. Now, as we rightly said, whenever you, as a depository participant, whenever you take a form, you have to again verify the document which has been given by client. How you verify? You ask a client to give a original documents. Against the original documents you verify it. Now, this is fine when as compared to the individual entity. If suppose a depository participant wants to open an account for an NRI, what is the procedure? How the documents will get verified and all? In case of NRIs, there are certain authority who can attest those documents, and then the DP can open the demat account. Who are those entities are? Either it should be an Indian embassy or a consulate general where a client resides. Suppose if a client is of Singapore, okay, he should get those verified either Indian embassy over there or a consulate general over there. A court, a judge or a magistrate where he resides again. So either any one of the person can attest those documents, and then a DP over here can open the account. The third is again a notary public where he resides, and the fourth is a banker, a local banker. If you see 99.99%, you will be finding the documents for NRI is been attested by the bank. Why? Because they have a day-to-day, they have a very good relation, means a client is already have a relationship with the banker. So in maximum cases you will be finding that banker verifies the document for in case of NRIs. Okay. One more important thing, whenever you are verifying a PAN, okay, this is a new regulation which has been coming, it should have a stamp called verified, verified against original or PAN verified. That is what this require. Now as I told you, you can open an account in a joint name as well, but in case of HUF, the account should be open either in the name of HUF entity or in the name of Karta. You cannot have a joint holder over there. Again, in case of minor, you cannot have a joint holder. Minor account will be open in the name of minor, and guardian will be the guardian will be operating those accounts. So the document what you have to take document for minor as well as for the guardian. As we discussed, you can have a joint holder, okay, but in case of HUF, there should not be a joint holder. Again, same in case of minor. Account should be open in the name of minor, and the guardian is the person who will be operating that account. Again, in case of demat account, you can give one-time standing instruction for credit. That means the credit will automatically keeps on coming in your account. But for each type of debit instruction, you have to give a delivery instruction slip to the DP, and then only the debit will take place. Okay. As we discussed, trust, there are two types of trust. One is a registered trust and another unregistered trust. Whenever you open an account in the name of trust, it's a registered trust, the account will get opened in the name of trust itself. And if it's an unregistered trust, then the account will get opened in the name of trustees. Okay. You cannot open the account in the name of partnership firm and a proprietorship firm. Now additional information to it is power of attorney. Power of attorney holder or a BO, anyone can sign on the delivery instruction slip or other document. Now people has a wrong conception. As an investor, if I have given a power of attorney, I can't sign on delivery instruction slip or I can't sign on any other document pertaining to the demat account. That is a wrong thought altogether. When I have given a power of attorney to any third person, I'll still have all the authorities to sign on the delivery instruction slip or other related document. Now DPs are not authorized to merge the securities kept under the various account of the client. Now DPs has a various account, a client wise account. So securities has to be going in a client wise account only, and not to the, it should not get merged in a single account. Okay. Now in case of joint holder, if suppose one of the holder expire, then what will happen to the securities? A surviving holder will open a new account, and securities from the old account will move into the new account, and then the old account will get closed. Okay. Account opening form should be signed by sole holder, or in case of joint, then it should be signed by the all holders. Authorized signatories in the case of corporate, if suppose it's a corporate account, then it should be signed by the authorized signatories as per the board resolution given by the corporate entity. In case of minor account, the form should be signed by the guardian. In case of an NRI, it should be signed by the NRIs. In demat account, a power of attorney, if suppose I have given a power of attorney to third person, okay, that person cannot open or close the account, otherwise he can do all type of activity in a demat account. So power of attorney holders are not, they are not allowed to open or close down the account, otherwise they can do all types of activities. Now we'll go to the closure of the account. Okay, DP can close the account as per the client's request. Whenever the account is getting closed in a investor has to give an account closure form to the DP, and DP will initiate it. Okay. An account can be closed only when there is no balance in the account. Okay. Now suppose if there is a balance in the account, then either the securities has to get rematerialized and then the account will get closed, or there is an option to transfer the securities available in the account to any other account, and then the account will get closed down. If there is a pending demat in the account, then account will be not closed. Okay. Now what as a BO, what a BO is supposed to do? A BO has to write a letter to the issuer company, okay, with a copy marked to the DP and a respective RTA, that is registrar and transfer agent, requesting for the rejection of the pending dematerialized request and send a fresh physical securities to the client directly. Here a client is asking to send the securities directly to him in a physical form. Okay. Enclose a copy of dematerialization request which has been set up when they have given it for dematerialization. Okay. Now a DP can also close the account. Whenever a DP wants to close certain account, they have to send a notice, that is 30-day notice in advance. After completing the period of 30 days, a DP is allowed to close that certain demat account. Freezing of account. Now what do you mean by freezing of account? Freezing is just blocking your account so that transaction, either a debit or credit, it depends how you want to freeze the account. Okay. Freezing can be initiated by BO. If suppose as an investor I am going out of town for 3 months, can I freeze the account? Yes, I can freeze the account and I can go travel. Or either whenever a BO wants to freeze the account, he has to give a freeze request form to the DP and DP will initiate the remaining process. Who else can freeze the account? Either a DP or a depository can also freeze the account. Whenever depository freezes the account, that might be either on a ground of there might be a notice against the client from a statutory authority, so that depository can freeze the account, or if there is any lien on the securities, if a DP wants to close the account, they have to take a CDSL approval. Now a client can freeze either for debits or for credits or for everything. It is completely on the wish of the investor. Now whenever a depository freezes, they freezes for the all types of debits. Now suppose there are many times, can I change my detail after opening the account? Yes, as an investor I can any point of time change my details. What I have to do, I have to give an account modification form to the DP along with necessary document if required. Okay, whenever I change my address, obviously I have to give an address proof as well while giving the account modification form. Once the account get open, what you can change in the account opening? You can change each and everything. You can change your address, you can change your contact detail, you can change your bank details, all other details as compared to your account, except two things. You cannot change the name once the account get open, and the account opening status, that cannot get changed. These are the two things which once the account get open you cannot change. So the important thing over here, the account holder status and account holder name will not get changed in the case of individuals only, but if there is a corporate name change, then obviously it can get changed as well. Suppose there is a change of address in the individual details. What a client has to do, he has to fill up a modification form. Along with modification form, he has to give certain document pertaining to the address. Okay, once that document has been given, he will go to the DP. DP will check everything is proper, then he will initiate the change process. That happens in case of CDSL, but in case of NSDL there is a different procedure. A client has to visit in person. A client has to visit in person to the DP to do the necessary changes, or he has an option where he can authorize someone to do that, but he has to give an authorization letter that in case of me, so and so person will be coming and doing the necessary changes which is required to be done. All the other formalities like submitting form and everything will be carried out with the third person, the authorized person. Now verification of the document, it is again much more important at the time of changing of the address. Whenever a client requests for the change of the address, again you have to verify it with the original. That is how the KYC norms has been built up. Once you verify it, again as a DP you have to put a stamp called verified against original or verified with original. Okay. Then you have to carry out the modification in the system provided by the depositories. After doing that, you have to send a letter to new as well as to the old address. Okay, it's a mandate. If BO personally visit DP office with documentation, the DP need not obtain the transaction. In case of NSDL again, a transaction statement also required, but in case of CDSL, the transaction statement for the closure it's not required. Now as we spoke about change in the name of the corporate entity. Now what is a procedure that has to be followed by the corporate entity? CDSL, the name change procedure is been followed in CDSL. What a DP does, DP collects all the forms and a relevant document, and DP then forward it to the depository, and depository does a change. This happens in case of CDSL, but in case of NSDL, NSDL can initiate the change of the name request at their end. So that is where the difference is. Can you change the signature once you open the account? Yes. Any time you want to change your signature, you can change it. Again, you have to fill up a modification form pertaining to that, and you can change the signature. The client has to personally visit to do the needful. He has to fill up a modification form. Along with modification form, he has to visit personally for the signature, change in signature. DP official will verify all the document pertaining to the signature, and then he will be doing the changes in the system. Here we have completed the chapter 4. Is anyone have any questions here regarding chapter 4?
Yes. I have a few questions.
Yeah.
You mentioned standard client participant agreement. Who authorizes the standard agreement?
Okay. This normally that is client DP agreement. Okay. It is been made by the depositories, but it should get approved by the regulator, that is called SEBI, Security Exchange Board of India.
And what account is a transitory account?
As we discussed earlier, the clearing member account and the intermediary account are called as transitory account. Why? Because they have opened for the commercial purpose and not for the regular investment.
You mentioned all details in an account can be changed, but you said there are some details which cannot be changed in a demat account. What are these?
These details are, once the account get open, you cannot change the account holder name and the account holder status. Otherwise, each and every detail can be changed in the account.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.